Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you've been carrying the same pain for years. It hides behind your smile, your routine, your responsibilities. You move through life doing what needs to be done, but inside, something feels quietly broken. Imagine if, just for a moment, you could pause everything and finally give yourself permission to heal. What if healing didn't mean fixing yourself, but understanding yourself? What if growth wasn't about achieving more, but releasing was no longer needed? What if this very moment, right now, was your starting point? Think about how many times you've tried to stay strong when all you wanted was peace. Think about how often you put others first while forgetting your own heart. And think about how heavy life can feel when you never give yourself space to breathe. Take the example of a cracked bowl. In Japanese tradition, they repair it with gold, highlighting the cracks instead of hiding them. They believe the broken parts are not shameful, but part of the bowl's story. What if your cracks were the most beautiful part of you, too? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we gently walk the path of healing and inner growth, guided by timeless Buddhist philosophy. If this message speaks to your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who may need it, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue this journey together. And most importantly, drop your thoughts and comments. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It begins slowly, like the first light at dawn. According to Buddhism, awareness is the first key. You cannot change what you do not see. When you begin to notice your thoughts, your emotions, your patterns, you create space between the pain and your reaction to it. The Buddha taught that suffering is part of life, but it doesn't have to control us. He pointed out that we often make our pain worse by clinging to it, by repeating stories in our minds about what should have happened or what must happen next. Real healing begins when we stop running from ourselves. It begins the moment we sit quietly and simply ask, "What am I feeling?" That question alone can open a door you never knew existed. As adults, especially as we grow older, we carry so much. Expectations, regrets, roles we've played for decades. But healing asks us to remove those layers, not all at once, but slowly, with care. This path isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. It's about creating a safe place inside where we can rest without pretending. Growth doesn't come from struggle alone. It comes from understanding. When you become aware of what you've survived, what you've learned, and what you've avoided, you begin to see the full picture of your life. There is no shame in feeling lost. What matters is your willingness to begin. So as we continue this series, let this be your first gentle step, a step toward yourself, toward clarity, toward peace. And remember, you are not alone. Imagine carrying a heavy sack on your back. It's filled with stones, some big, some small. Each stone is a memory, a regret, a hurt that you have held onto for years. You move forward, but the weight pulls you down. The journey becomes harder, and your steps slower. This sack is your past. But what if you could put it down? What if you could release the stones, one by one? In life, many suffer not because of what happens now, but because of what happened before. Old wounds, forgotten pains, and memories locked deep inside. They shape the way we see ourselves and the world. Yet, they are not who we truly are. Buddha teaches us that holding on to the past is like trying to grab water with a clenched fist. The harder you try, the more it slips away. When we cling to what was, to what could have been, we trap ourselves in suffering. Letting go is not easy. The mind resists. It whispers stories of loss and injustice. It tells us, if only this had not happened, or I cannot forgive. These thoughts chain us to a prison of pain. But listen closely. Letting go is not about forgetting or denying what happened. It is about accepting the truth that the past cannot be changed. It is about freeing your heart from the burden it no longer needs to carry. In a quiet village, there was an old man who spent his days cleaning a small pond. Over many years, leaves, dirt, and debris collected in the water, making it murky. One day, he began removing the dirt bit by bit. Slowly, the water grew clearer and clearer. Your heart is like that pond. The past is the dirt clouding it. You cannot clean the water by ignoring the dirt. You must face it. You must remove it, slowly, with patience. Imagine the relief when the water is clear again. You can see the bottom. You can see the life beneath. That is what happens when you let go of your past. You see yourself clearly. You see your life clearly. Many ask, but how do I let go? How do I stop feeling hurt? The answer is in awareness. Notice the pain without judgment. Observe it as if you're watching clouds passing in the sky. They come and go, but the sky remains vast and open. When the pain arises, do not push it away. Do not chase it. Simply be with it. Feel it fully, without fear. In time, you will notice that the pain begins to lose its power. You become smaller. You become stronger. The past is like a shadow. It follows you only if you keep looking back. But if you turn and face forward, the shadow fades. It loses its shape. It cannot hold you anymore. In Buddhism, this is called non-attachment. It means to experience life fully, without clinging to things that cause suffering. It is not indifference or coldness. It is freedom. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the pain others caused you. You are the awareness that watches these things. And awareness is always free. A flower blooms in spring. It does not cling to last year's leaves. It simply opens to the new light, the new air. So too must you bloom in your life. Let go of the old. Make space for the new. There will be moments when old memories return. That is natural. Do not fight them. Invite them gently. Acknowledge them. Then release them like a leaf floating down a stream. True freedom begins when you forgive, not just others, but yourself. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the cage of the past. It is not a gift for others. It is a gift for your own soul. You may wonder, what if I forget important lessons by letting go? The lessons remain deep inside, like roots beneath a tree. They nourish your growth without weighing down your branches. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Each day offers a new chance to loosen your grip on the past, to breathe deeply, to step lightly, to live fully. As the wind moves through the trees, shaking loose dead leaves, your heart must do the same. The process may feel uncomfortable at first, but it brings lightness, peace, and new strength. The past cannot be undone, but your relationship with it can change. From a place of pain and attachment to a place of understanding and release. Every moment you hold on, you deny yourself the chance to heal. Every moment you let go, you step closer to freedom. Remember, healing is natural. Like a river flowing around stones, you will find your way forward. Do not rush. Do not resist. Simply keep moving. The Buddha said, let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of the present. This is not to deny life, but to embrace it fully without grasping. When you let go, you open your hands to receive what life offers in this moment. Peace, joy, and the simple beauty of being alive. You are not alone on this path. Many have walked it before you. Many walk it with you now, and many will follow. Each step of letting go is a step toward healing. Each moment of release is a moment of growth. The weight of the past can be lifted, but only if you are willing to carry less. Begin today. Start small. Notice a thought, a feeling, a memory. Allow it to be, then gently let it go. Your true nature is free. Your true self is waiting beneath the burden. Let go and find yourself again. Imagine a river flowing endlessly. You stand by its side, watching the water move. The water never stops. It is always now, always present. The past water has moved on, and the future water has not yet arrived. The river only ever exists in this moment. Our minds, however, are like travelers lost in memories of that river or worries about where we'll flow next. We miss the river itself, the present moment, because we are caught up in stories about it. This is the nature of human suffering, living outside of the now. The Buddha taught that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But the present, this breath, this step, this thought, is always here. To live fully is to live in the now. But why is it so hard? Why do we find ourselves trapped in regrets, guilt, or fear? The mind, like a restless monkey, jumps from branch to branch. Past mistakes, future plans, imagined troubles. It is not rest. Healing begins when we learn to gently quiet this restless mind, not by forcing it, but by noticing it. Like watching the clouds pass across the sky without holding on to any one cloud. We can watch our thoughts come and go. This practice is called mindfulness. It is the art of paying attention to this moment, without judgment, without rushing. When you notice the breath flowing in and out, you anchor yourself in reality. When you hear the sounds around you, feel the sensations in your body, you return home to yourself. Presence does not mean ignoring pain or problems. It means acknowledging them without letting them overwhelm you. When pain arises, instead of running away or pushing it down, you welcome it like an old friend. You observe it, understand its shape and texture. It begins to lose its power. Try this now. Breathe deeply. Feel the air entering your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Be here, fully here. This is your true home. Many people believe that healing means fixing something broken inside. But healing is more about allowing yourself to be fully seen by yourself first. The present moment holds a mirror. When you look into it with kindness, you begin to understand your own suffering and your own strength. You might wonder, how can just being present change my life? Because everything happens now. Your choices, your emotions, your reactions, all are born in this instant. When you stop running from now, you stop running from life. You see clearly what is and respond with calmness rather than chaos. This is the power of presence. In our busy lives, we often forget that the simplest thing, breathing, is the greatest gift. Each breath connects us to the world and to ourselves. When you forget this, life becomes a blur. When you remember, life becomes alive. Healing and growth flow from this simple truth. Presence transforms pain into peace, confusion into clarity, fear into courage. The Buddha taught us to be awake to the present, like a bird alert to the morning sun. When you are awake, life flows through you without resistance. It is not about escaping pain, but about embracing reality as it is. The moment you accept what is, you release what was holding you back. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath. This is your practice, your way back to yourself. Remember, presence is not a goal to reach, but a practice to live. Some moments will be easy, others will challenge you. Both are part of the path. In presence, you find a quiet strength, a strength that does not come from controlling life, but from surrendering to it. The river flows, and so must you. But when you swim with the current of now, you move effortlessly with grace. Your past stories may still echo, your future hopes may still call, but the only place where life unfolds is here, in this breath, this heartbeat, this moment. By reclaiming the now, you begin to heal old wounds. You begin to grow new wisdom. The path of presence is the path of returning home, home to your true self. When you practice presence, you learn to listen deeply, to others, to nature, to the silent wisdom within. You begin to see that life is not about perfect outcomes, but about perfect awareness. Each moment is a gift waiting to be unwrapped with attention and care. This is the gentle revolution, the quiet power that changes everything from the inside out. Healing and growth are not distant goals. They're found in this very moment, in this very breath. So return again and again to the now. Let it be your teacher, your guide, your sanctuary. With each breath, with each step, you awaken more fully to the miracle of life. And in this awakening, healing flows naturally and growth blooms gently. Imagine sitting quietly under a tree, as the Buddha once did, simply watching the world go by. Nothing moves faster than a breath, and yet everything changes. This is the beginning of understanding suffering, not as a curse, but as a natural part of life. We all suffer in many ways. It touches every heart. To deny this is to live in a shadow. Suffering is not punishment. It is not a sign that we have failed. It is the gentle teacher that asks us to wake up, to see clearly, to understand the roots of pain and find a path beyond it. The Buddha's great teaching begins with this truth. Suffering exists. This is called dukkha. It means the unsatisfactory nature of life. It means the moments when joy slips away, when the body aches, when the heart feels heavy, and when even happiness feels fragile. It is the fact that nothing lasts forever. That loss, change, and disappointment are part of the human experience. But this truth is not meant to bring despair. Instead, it asks us to look deeper, to ask, why do we suffer? What causes this pain? The second truth teaches us this. Suffering arises from craving and attachment. We cling to what we want and push away what we don't want. We desire comfort, approval, and permanence in a world that is always changing. We hold tightly to people, things, and ideas, hoping they will keep us safe or happy. But this clinging is like holding onto a rope that's burning. The tighter we grasp, the more we hurt. This craving creates a cycle, a wheel of endless wanting and disappointment. When what we desire is not fulfilled, we suffer. When what we fear comes, we suffer again. We are caught in this cycle, turning round and round, often without seeing a way out. The Buddha did not leave us here, trapped in this wheel. The third truth shines like a light. There's an end to suffering. It is possible to be free. Freedom is not found by adding more to life, but by letting go, by releasing the grasping mind, the restless heart. To heal and grow, we must understand this deeply. We cannot hold on to pain and expect peace. We cannot carry anger and expect calm. To free ourselves, we must loosen the tight hands of craving. The fourth truth is the path to this freedom. It is called the Noble Eightfold Path, a way of living that brings balance, wisdom, and compassion. It is not a set of rules to follow blindly, but a guide to living with awareness and kindness. This path asks us to see clearly what is true, to speak honestly, to act gently, to live mindfully, to develop patience and understanding, to nourish our hearts with compassion, both for ourselves and for others. In practicing this path, healing unfolds. We begin to feel lighter. We see the world without the heavy lens of fear and desire. We meet our suffering with courage, not resistance. This is not easy, for old habits die slowly. But each step forward is a quiet victory. Often, people think suffering is something to escape or ignore. They fill their days with distractions, hoping to silence the ache. But true healing comes from turning toward pain, not away. It comes from being present with ourselves, even in moments of difficulty. Imagine a river flowing. It does not fight the stones or the bends. It moves around them, changing shape but continuing its course. We too can learn to flow with life's challenges, to bend without breaking, to remain steady, even as storms pass. The Buddha taught that all things are impermanent. This means pain, like joy, will pass. Nothing is fixed or final. When we hold this truth in our hearts, we find freedom from fear. We realize that pain is not who we are. It is a passing visitor. In this way, suffering becomes a doorway rather than a prison. It invites us to wake up, to see clearly what really matters. It leads us to compassion, both for ourselves and others, because we understand that all beings share this experience. Healing is not about becoming perfect or erasing pain. It is about opening the heart, embracing life fully, and walking gently on the path. It is about learning patience with ourselves when the road feels long and uncertain. Sometimes, healing may come quietly. A small shift in perspective, a moment of calm amid chaos. Sometimes it may come like a wave, washing away old patterns and leaving space for something new. Each person's journey is unique, but the wisdom remains the same. To heal, we must understand suffering as it truly is, not as an enemy, but as a teacher, not as a punishment, but as a message to awaken. In this awakening, we find the seeds of growth. From suffering grows compassion. From pain grows understanding. From struggle grows strength. The Four Noble Truths offer a map, but the journey is yours to walk. With gentle steps and an open heart, you can begin to see suffering not as a wall, but as a bridge, a passage toward freedom and peace. Remember, this is a path, not a destination. Each day offers a new chance to practice awareness, to let go of clinging, and to walk with kindness toward yourself and the world. So, in moments when suffering arises, and it will welcome it as an old friend with a message, listen deeply, breathe softly, and let the healing begin. Imagine a wheel turning without end, spinning round and round. This is how life can feel when we are caught in cycles of pain, worry, and habit. We react without pause. We hold on too tightly to what we think will bring us happiness, but slips through our fingers like water. In the teaching of the Buddha, these cycles are called samsara. It means the endless flow of suffering and rebirth, the spinning of thoughts and emotions that trap us in the same places again and again. But there's a way to step off this wheel. There's a way to break free. The first step is to understand what keeps us trapped. Often, it is our attachment, our clinging to things, people, and ideas as if they were the source of our peace. We hold on to anger, to fear, to desire, thinking they protect us or make us whole. But in truth, these attachments weigh us down like stones in a heavy bag. Think of a bird trying to fly, carrying a heavy chain around its leg. How far can it go? The chain is attachment. It limits our freedom. It makes our heart ache. Detachment is not about coldness or distance. It is not about giving up love or life. Rather, it is about gentle release. It is learning to hold things lightly, like a child holds a feather, curious, caring, but not grasping tightly. The Zen master once said, "Let go or be dragged." This is not a threat. It is an invitation. To let go is to choose peace instead of struggle. To let go is to open your hand and allow life to flow through, rather than clutching tightly and causing pain. When we detach, we do not reject the world. We see it clearly. We accept its impermanence. We understand that all things change, that nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not sorrow, not even ourselves. This understanding brings liberation. Liberation is freedom from the chains of our own making. It is the quiet joy that comes when we stop fighting with life. It is the calm center within the storm. The practice of attachment is not easy. It requires courage to face our fears, to look at what we have held on so tightly. But as we begin to loosen our grip, even just a little, we feel the lightness return. The heart softens. The mind quiets. In Zen, we practice this through meditation and mindfulness. We watch our thoughts come and go like clouds passing in the sky. We notice how our emotions arise and fall like waves on the ocean. We learn not to identify with them, but to simply observe. By observing without grasping, we create space inside ourselves. This space is where healing begins. It is where we find clarity and strength. It is where we touch the true nature of being. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering is craving and clinging. When we see this clearly, we can begin to untie the knots inside. Each knot we loosen is a step toward freedom. But this path is not about rushing or forcing. It is about gentle patience, like a tree growing slowly, quietly reaching toward the sun, like the soft unfolding of a lotus flower in the morning light. We must be kind to ourselves as we walk this path. We will stumble. We will sometimes fall back into old habits. This is natural. Healing is not a straight line. It is a spiral, circling deeper into understanding. When you feel overwhelmed by your attachments, whether they are to pain, to people, or to ideas, remember to breathe. Take one breath, then another. Return your attention to the present moment. In that present moment, you are free. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are the awareness watching them. This awareness is the key. It shines like a lantern in the darkness. It guides you out of confusion and into peace. As you practice detachment, you may notice a quiet joy growing within you. It is not loud or flashy. It is gentle, steady, like the light of dawn. This joy is not dependent on outside things. It is born from inside you, from your own awakening. And as this joy grows, you find that your heart opens wider. You can love more freely, without fear or neediness. You can face life's changes with grace. This is liberation, the freedom to be fully alive, no matter what life brings. Remember, detachment does not mean running away from life. It means living fully, without the chains of clinging. It means saying yes to change, yes to uncertainty, yes to the flow of life itself. The Zen master often said, "If you want to know the truth, don't cling to the idea of truth." Truth is not a fixed thing. It is alive, moving with each breath. When you stop holding on to fixed ideas about yourself or the world, you allow life to surprise you. You open yourself to new possibilities. So, when you find yourself caught in old patterns, ask, what am I holding on to? What can I gently let go? You might start with small things, a thought, a habit, a worry. Practice loosening your grip bit by bit. Over time, this practice grows stronger. Your mind becomes clearer, your heart lighter. Healing and growth are natural results of breaking the cycle. In the stillness beyond attachment, you find peace. You find freedom. You find yourself. This is the true meaning of liberation. A mind free from chains, a heart open like the sky. The path may be long, but every step forward is a step toward your own awakening. You're never alone on this path. The wisdom of the Buddha, the calm presence of the Zen masters, and the light of your own awareness guide you always. So breathe deeply, let go gently, and watch as the cycle begins to slow and finally comes to rest. The wheel stops turning. You stand still, free at last. Listen carefully, dear friend. In this life, many seek answers by rushing to one side or the other. They chase pleasure without restraint or punish themselves with harsh discipline. Some cling tightly to things, while others try to let go so fiercely that they break their own spirit. This is the way of extremes. But such paths often lead to suffering, not peace. The Buddha, long ago, taught a different path, a way that honors both the body and the mind, a way that embraces balance. He called it the middle way. This is not a path of half measures or weakness. It is a path of wisdom, of deep understanding, and of gentle strength. Imagine a tightrope stretched across a wide valley. To walk it, you cannot lean too far to one side or the other, or you will fall. You must find the center, the perfect balance. This balance does not come from force, but from mindfulness and careful attention to each step. So too is the path of healing and growth. In our lives, extremes show up in many forms. There are times when we push ourselves too hard, thinking that success or happiness comes only through constant struggle. We deny ourselves rest, ignore our feelings, and try to control everything. Yet this can exhaust the body and cloud the mind. At other times, we might swing the other way, avoiding all discomfort. We seek only ease and pleasure, hoping pain will disappear if we ignore it. But by doing so, we might avoid growth or truth. Without challenge, the spirit can grow weak and restless. The middle way teaches us to walk between these extremes. It invites us to honor our needs and limits without falling into laziness or denial. It asks us to accept both joy and pain, work and rest, action and stillness. Life is not only about doing or not doing, it is about being. Healing starts when we listen deeply to ourselves. We notice when we're pushing too hard or giving up too easily. We watch our thoughts, feelings, and bodies with gentle curiosity. We do not judge or rush. Instead, we respond with kindness and wisdom. Balance is not static. It moves like water. Sometimes we need more rest. Other times more effort. Sometimes we must face our fears and pain head-on. Other times we need to soften and surrender. The middle way is flexible like the bamboo that bends but does not break in the wind. In Buddhist practice, this balance is reflected in how we live each day. We cultivate mindfulness, not to escape life but to fully embrace it. We practice compassion, not only for others but for ourselves. We seek harmony between our desires and our reality. This harmony helps us heal because it frees us from the struggle of fighting ourselves. When we stop battling between extremes, we create space for true peace. The mind becomes clear and the heart opens. Sometimes people think balance means settling for less or losing passion. But this is not true. The middle way is vibrant and alive. It allows us to pursue goals with calm determination. It helps us enjoy pleasures without becoming attached. It supports us in facing hardships without despair. Remember the story of the Buddha's own journey. Before his awakening, he lived in extremes, first in luxury and indulgence, then in severe asceticism. Neither brought lasting peace. Only when he found the middle way did he discover freedom. So too must we find our own middle path. This does not mean avoiding pain or effort. It means walking with awareness, respecting our limits, and embracing the whole of our experience. Healing and growth arise naturally from this balance. Look at your life now. Where do you see extremes? Perhaps in how you treat your body, your mind, your emotions? Do you push yourself too hard or hold back? Are you caught between wanting change and fearing it? Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel these questions without judgment. Healing begins with this simple act of noticing. The middle way invites you to walk gently, toward balance, toward peace, toward wholeness. You are learning to live fully, neither too tight nor too loose, neither too fast nor too slow. You are learning to be present with yourself exactly as you are. This is the path of the wise, the path of the awakened. It is the path that frees you from extremes and brings you home to yourself. Trust this path. Trust the rhythm of your breath and the wisdom in your heart. Each day, you take one step more toward balance, toward healing, toward growth. Be patient with yourself. The journey is not a race, but a dance. A dance where every moment matters. The middle way is always with you, waiting for your return. And when you walk this way, you carry peace wherever you go. Imagine, for a moment, that every breath you take is a fresh beginning. Not just a movement of air in and out, but a moment filled with life, with presence, with possibility. This is the heart of mindfulness, being truly here in this moment, fully awake to the experience of now. In our busy world, it is easy to lose ourselves in the rush. The mind darts from one thought to another, worrying about the future, regretting the past, planning endlessly, all while life flows quietly beneath. But mindfulness invites us to slow down. It asks us to return to the simple act of noticing. Noticing the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the gentle sound of wind in the trees, the taste of your food as you eat it, the feeling of your feet on the ground as you walk. These are small miracles, often overlooked because we're distracted. But when we pay attention to them, they become the doorway to peace. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist what is. We hold tightly to how we think things should be and resist the reality of the moment. Mindfulness helps us to see things as they truly are, not better, not worse, just as they are. This seeing is healing. As you bring mindfulness into your daily life, it is not about adding something extra to your day. It is about coming back to what is already there. The dishes you wash, the clothes you fold, the walk you take, all become opportunities to practice being present. At first, this may feel strange or difficult. The mind may wander, and that is natural. The gentle revolution of mindfulness is not about forcing focus, but about gently bringing the mind back again and again, without judgment or frustration. Think of your mind like a wild horse. It wants to run free, chasing thoughts and worries. Mindfulness is the soft reins that guide the horse gently back to the path. Sometimes it will stray, and that is okay. The important part is that you keep returning. In practicing mindfulness, we begin to notice patterns. We see how thoughts can create feelings, sometimes fear, sometimes anger, sometimes sadness. But we also see how these feelings come and go, like clouds passing through the sky. We are not the clouds. We are the sky. This understanding opens a space inside us, a space where we can choose how to respond instead of reacting automatically. It is in this space that true healing and growth happen. Here, we find freedom. Every moment is an opportunity. Every breath can be a step on the path. This path does not require special skills or knowledge, only a willingness to be present. As you practice, you may find that simple activities become rich and meaningful. Drinking tea can become a ceremony of calm. Walking can become a meditation. Listening to a loved one can become an act of deep connection. Mindfulness deepens our relationship with life itself. It allows us to taste each moment fully, without distraction or hurry. This practice also teaches patience. Growth and healing do not happen overnight. They unfold like the petals of a flower, slowly and gently. Sometimes progress is invisible. Sometimes the path feels difficult. Mindfulness reminds us to be kind to ourselves, to hold ourselves with compassion as we walk. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is not separate from wisdom and compassion. It is part of a whole way of living. When we're mindful, we see clearly. When we see clearly, we act with kindness. This kindness begins with ourselves. It means accepting where we are without harsh judgment. It means recognizing that we are all imperfect, all learning. When you cultivate mindfulness in daily life, you also begin to see others more clearly. Their struggles, their joys, their humanity. This deep understanding softens the heart and opens the door to empathy. Mindfulness is a revolution not because it changes the world outside quickly, but because it transforms the world within. And when the world inside changes, the world outside cannot help but shift. There is no right or wrong way to practice. Sometimes mindfulness will come easily. Sometimes it will feel like a struggle. Both are part of the journey. The key is consistency, returning again and again to the present moment with a gentle heart. Over time, the noise of the mind quiets. The weight of old wounds lifts. Clarity grows. You may notice yourself responding to challenges with more calmness, more understanding. You may find joy in simple things, a breeze, a smile, a quiet moment. Remember, mindfulness is not about escaping life. It is about meeting life fully, even the difficult parts, with open eyes and an open heart. Each moment you practice, you plant seeds of healing and growth. These seeds take root in your life, slowly transforming how you experience the world. Healing is not a destination. It is a journey of returning home to yourself. Mindfulness is the gentle guide that walks beside you on this path. So, in your daily life, wherever you find yourself, at work, at home, walking outside, bring your attention softly to the here and now. Notice the sensations in your body, the rhythm of your breath, the flow of your thoughts. Allow yourself to be fully present without needing to change anything. Simply observe with kindness. This simple act of presence is a powerful step toward healing. It is a small revolution that grows quietly, reshaping your life from within. And as you deepen your mindfulness, you open the door to growth, not forced or hurried, but natural and true. Let each breath remind you, you are alive. You are here. You are enough. In this moment, you begin again, transforming pain into purpose, the alchemy of growth. Sit with me for a moment and listen gently, not just with your ears, but with your heart. This world has much noise, but inside that noise, there is a quiet space where truth lives. That truth is simple. It is this: every pain you carry can become something meaningful. Not through force, not through pretending, but through deep understanding. You may not believe that yet. That's all right. Belief takes time, and healing takes even longer. But somewhere inside you, there is a space that already knows this. The space that survived the storms. The space that held on when everything else fell apart. Pain visits all of us. Some pain stays for years. Some comes suddenly and changes everything. Loss, betrayal, illness, loneliness, failure. These are not just events, they are turning points. They shape us, but they do not have to harden us. They can soften us, deepen us, open us. Buddhism teaches us that pain is a part of life, but suffering, that is something we add. Suffering grows when we resist what is, when we ask, why me, again and again without listening for the answer, when we cling to what was or fear what might be. But what if you could sit with your pain, not as an enemy, but as a teacher? You don't need to be strong all the time. In fact, some of the strongest people are the ones who have sat down with their pain, cried quietly, and chosen not to close their hearts afterward. That is a different kind of courage. A quiet kind. The kind that doesn't look like victory from the outside, but is a victory inside the soul. There's an old Zen saying, the obstacle is the path. That means the thing you think is in your way. Your heartbreak, your fear, your grief, that is not the thing stopping you. That is your way forward. Pain can burn everything unnecessary. It can strip away the false and leave only the real. When you are left with only what is essential, you begin to live differently. You begin to see life clearly, as it is, without all the stories your mind tries to build. You may ask, how can I find purpose in something that has hurt me so deeply? The answer is not simple, is not quick, but begins with this: stop running. See, breathe, feel. Let yourself mourn what you lost. Let yourself be honest about what it did to you. But don't stop there. Look deeper. Ask, what has this pain taught me about myself? Maybe it taught you patience. Maybe it taught you that you are more tender than you realized. Maybe it showed you what really matters. There is gold in the ashes, but only if we are willing to dig through them slowly, with care. Buddhism does not ask us to reject pain. It invites us to welcome it as part of the full picture of life. The lotus flower blooms only in the mud. The deeper the mud, the stronger the bloom. You too are like that lotus. What has felt like drowning can one day feel like blooming. Not all pain becomes a grand story. Not every wound turns into a lesson right away. But even small hurts, when faced with awareness, begin to transform. They soften your eyes. They expand your compassion. They make you more human. You begin to understand others more. You listen without judging. You notice small moments. You become a shelter for others because you have weathered storms yourself. In Buddhism, the Bodhisattva is one who has found peace and chooses to stay in the world to help others find theirs. That path begins with healing yourself, not to escape others, but so you can walk beside them. Pain can isolate, but purpose connects. When you realize your story might help someone else, your wounds begin to feel less like burdens and more like bridges. Think of someone you've met who is kind, gentle, steady. Chances are they have suffered, but they did not let that suffering turn them bitter. They let it carve out more space inside for light. You could do the same. You already have. Every time you chose kindness over anger, presence over escape, calm over chaos, you are practicing this. There's a quiet transformation that happens when you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what can I do with this? That shift is the moment pain begins to turn into purpose. Purpose doesn't always look like changing the world. Sometimes it's just being the one who listens, the one who doesn't judge, the one who remembers what it feels like and doesn't walk away. Sometimes your purpose is simply to be here fully, to live well, with depth, with honesty. And in doing that, you become a light without even trying. The Buddha said, turn your face to the sun and the shadows will fall behind you. But he never said there would be no shadows. He taught us how to walk with them, not how to erase them. Let your life be shaped by the truth you discover in your pain, not the fear it brings, but the wisdom it uncovers. Let it soften you, not weaken you. Let it awaken something deeper than fear, compassion. And remember, growth is not always loud. Sometimes, it is the quiet moment when you forgive yourself, when you decide not to run, when you hold your own heart gently for once. The world may never know the full weight of what you carry, but you do, and that makes your journey sacred. In this moment, right now, you're growing, even if it feels like standing still, even if you're tired, even if it still hurts, because you're facing it. That is growth. And in time, with patience, what once felt like pain will become your strength. What once felt like loss will become your insight. What once felt like the end will become your beginning. Silence and solitude, the forgotten healers. A student once asked me, Master, how can I find peace in this noisy world? I smiled and said, step away from the noise. It sounds simple, but the truth is, silence and solitude are no longer part of our everyday life. The world has grown louder, faster, and more demanding. Yet deep healing often comes, not with more noise, but with less. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No television in the background. No phone in your hand. No task in your mind. Just you, your breath, and the quiet hum of existence. For many, this sounds uncomfortable, strange, even scary. But for the heart that seeks to heal and grow, silence is a soft and powerful medicine. In the teachings of the Buddha, solitude is not loneliness. It is not rejection. It is space. Sacred space. The kind of space where the soul can finally speak. When you're always surrounded by voices, you forget the sound of your own. When your days are filled with the needs and wants of others, your own needs are buried under layers of duty. Healing begins when you come back to yourself, and silence is the path that leads you home. There is a stillness within you that never left. Maybe you've forgotten it. Maybe you've been too busy to visit it. But it is there, like a quiet lake, undisturbed beneath the surface of daily life. When you sit in silence, you allow the waters to settle. Thoughts rise like ripples, then disappear. And slowly, your reflection becomes clear again. Many people fear solitude because they believe they'll face their pain alone. But solitude does not mean abandonment. It means honesty. It means finally being with what you've been avoiding. Yes, there may be sadness. There may be memories that ache. But there is also wisdom waiting to be seen. The heart speaks in silence. It speaks in stillness. Sometimes, in solitude, the first thing you hear is your own tiredness. That's all right. Let's speak. Let cry. Let rest. We spend so much time doing, proving, fixing, and achieving. But we rarely allow ourselves to simply be, and being is sacred. A tree does not rush to grow. It stands in silence. A mountain does not chase the sky. It rests in solitude. In the same way, you do not need to force your healing. You only need to create the conditions where healing can rise naturally. Silence and solitude are those conditions. In Buddhist practice, monks often retreat into the mountains or forests, not to escape the world, but to see it more clearly. When they sit under the trees, alone with the wind and the breath, they're not running from life. They are embracing it without distractions. You do not need a forest to find solitude. You need only a quiet corner, a few minutes of stillness, a place where your phone is turned off, your tasks are paused, and your attention is gentle. You may sit, or walk slowly, or simply lie down and breathe. In the beginning, your mind will resist. It will bring up old thoughts. It will tell you to check your messages, to get up, to do something. But if you remain still, just for a little while, it will settle, it will soften, and something deeper will begin to rise. Something honest. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. But you must learn to listen. In solitude, you will start to hear the quieter voices inside you. The voice that says, I need rest. The voice that says, I miss who I used to be. The voice that says, I am enough. These voices are not loud, but they are true. They get lost in the world's noise. But in silence, they return. Healing cannot be rushed, and growth does not happen under pressure. They bloom slowly, like a flower in spring. Not because they are forced, but because the soil is right. Your inner soil needs time. It needs quiet. It needs you. Do not be afraid to be alone. Loneliness comes from feeling disconnected. But solitude, true solitude, reconnects you to your heart, to the present moment, and to something greater than yourself. When you sit in silence, you may begin to feel a presence that has no name. Some call it the universe. Some call it the divine. In Buddhism, it is simply the awareness that all things are connected. The silence is not empty. It holds everything. In that space, you may begin to feel whole again. There's a kind of strength that is born in solitude. A strength that is not loud. It is not aggressive. It does not boast. It is quiet, like the strength of an old tree that has seen many storms but still stands. That strength is inside you waiting. Do not rush this part of your journey. If all you can do today is sit for 10 minutes and be still, that is enough. Healing is not a race. Growth is not a competition. In the silence, there is no measuring, no competing, only returning. Return to your breath. Return to your body. Return to your truth. Let go of who you think you should be. Be who you are in this moment. That is enough. Let the quiet teach you. Let the stillness hold you. In time, you will see how powerful this gentle practice can be. Silence is not about avoiding the world. It is about understanding it. Solitude is not about being apart. It is about being real. In these quiet moments, you are not empty. You are open. So take that walk alone. Sit by the window. Listen to the wind. Light a candle at night and say nothing at all. These small acts are great acts. They bring you back to yourself. In this life, you may not always find answers in books or advice, but you will find them in your own stillness. The body knows. The heart knows. You only need to give them space to speak. There's nothing weak about stepping back. There's nothing strange about needing quiet. You're not broken for needing space. You're wise. Keep returning to silence. Keep returning to solitude. They're not empty spaces. They're full of healing. They're the forgotten friends who have always been waiting for you to return. Imagine waking up each day, not with a long list of tasks or worries pressing on your mind, but with a calm heart and a clear purpose. Not a purpose forced by outside demands, but one that grows quietly from deep inside. This is the beginning of living with intention. This is the essence of Dharma as a daily practice. Dharma means the path, the way of truth, of right action, of living in harmony with the world and yourself. It is not something distant or mysterious. It is not a rule written on stone. Dharma is simply the way things are, seen clearly and followed gently. Many people think that life's purpose is something grand and far away, a big goal to chase or an achievement to reach. But true intention is not about big moments alone. It lives in the small, everyday actions. The way you breathe, the way you listen, the way you choose to respond to a challenge or a kindness. When we live without intention, we're like a leaf blown by the wind, tossed here and there by circumstances, thoughts, and emotions. We react without thinking, we lose ourselves in distractions, and often feel empty inside. But when we begin to live with intention, we take back the steering wheel. We start to move with awareness, guided by the quiet wisdom inside us. You may wonder how we find this intention. How do we discover the Dharma in the middle of a busy, noisy life? The answer is simple, yet profound. Start by being present. Notice each moment as it comes. Feel the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breath. Listen to the sounds around you without rushing to judge or name them. When you do this, you plant the seed of awareness. From this seed grows intention. Living with intention means choosing your thoughts carefully. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, worries, anger, fear, they grow fast and choke out peace. But if you plant kindness, patience, and curiosity, your garden blooms with beauty. Each day offers a chance to practice this. When you wake up, you can decide, today, I will be kind to myself. Today, I will listen more than I speak. Today, I will meet difficulties with calm. These are not small things. They're the steps of the path. Buddha taught that the path to freedom is made one step at a time, one breath at a time. There's no need to rush or force progress. Healing and growth are like water slowly carving a stone. Gentle, persistent, patient. Sometimes you will find your mind wandering, your heart heavy. This is natural. The practice of intention is not about perfection. It is about returning. Like a child who runs away but always comes home, you come back to the present moment again and again. Every choice matters. How you treat yourself, how you treat others, how you treat the earth beneath your feet. When you live with intention, even simple tasks become sacred. Washing the dishes becomes a moment of mindfulness. Walking to the mailbox becomes a chance to connect with the world. Eating a meal becomes a celebration of life's gifts. You begin to see that life is not just a series of random events. Life is a dance, a flowing, ever-changing dance where each movement has meaning and grace. This understanding brings peace. It softens the sharp edges of suffering. When you know that your actions matter, that you are part of a larger whole, your heart opens. Living with Dharma means living with compassion, first for yourself, then for all beings. When you make choices from this place, Your life naturally grows in wisdom and kindness. You may still face challenges. You may still feel pain, but the pain no longer rules you. It becomes part of your path, a teacher rather than a burden. In every difficulty, there is a lesson. In every moment of stillness, there is a gift. This is why the Zen masters say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The practice is not separate from daily life. The path isn't ordinary. You do not need to leave your home, your family, or your work to live with intention. You only need to bring your full attention to whatever you are doing. Try this now. Take a deep breath and notice where you are. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your hands resting or moving. Notice your heart beating. This moment, right now, is the beginning of your practice. As you live with intention, you begin to understand the deeper meaning of Dharma. It is not a rule to follow, but a way to be, a way to live honestly, gently, and fully. You learn to trust yourself, your inner wisdom. You learn that healing and growth are not destinations, but ongoing journeys. Every day, you plant seeds of peace and understanding. Every day, you nurture your garden of intention, and slowly, you become more like a calm lake, still on the surface, reflecting clearly the world around you. Living with intention means embracing the present with open arms. It means seeing life as it truly is, without fear or denial. It means accepting who you are with all your strengths and flaws, then choosing to walk your path with courage and kindness. This practice can transform your life. It brings clarity to confusion, light to darkness, and warmth to coldness. You become a beacon for others, not by force, but by presence. Your quiet strength and gentle heart inspire those around you. Remember, the Dharma is alive in every moment. It is not something you find far away, but something you live each day. Let your intention be your guide. Let your heart be your compass. With this, healing deepens, growth flourishes, and you begin to live not just by chance, but by choice, by Dharma. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a quiet lake at dawn. The water is still. The air is cool and calm. You see your reflection, clear and unbroken. In this moment, there's nothing to fix, nothing to prove, just yourself, whole and present. This is the place where healing is no longer just something you do. It is who you become. You have traveled a long road to get here. You learned to notice your pain without running away. You understood that suffering is part of being alive, but does not have to rule your heart. You have practiced presence, compassion, and patience. And now, you stand as your own healer. Healing is not a final destination. It is a way of being, a gentle light that you carry within you. It is a presence that touches others without words, simply by how you exist in the world. When you let go of the old wounds and stories that weigh you down, you create space for new life to grow. This space is not empty. It is full of possibility, kindness, and peace. In the teachings of the Buddha, we learn that everything is connected. Your healing ripples outward like the soft waves on a lake. When you become calm and whole inside, you influence the world around you. Your peace becomes a gift to those you meet. This is the true power of healing. It transforms not only your own heart, but also the hearts of others. You may wonder, how do I keep this healing alive? The answer is simple, but not always easy. Practice. Practice kindness to yourself when old habits return. Practice patience when growth feels slow. Practice presence by returning again and again to the moment you are in. Every breath is a new beginning. Every step, a new choice. Even when the past calls out, even when pain resurfaces, you have the power to return to peace. Do not fear the challenges that come with healing. They are like storms that clear the air, allowing the sun to shine brighter. Each difficulty you face and move through strengthens your spirit. Remember, the Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." This is your path now, walked with courage and love. As you walk it, be gentle with yourself. Healing is not about rushing or forcing change. It is about softening, opening, and letting life flow through you. When anger, fear, or sadness arise, do not push them away. Welcome them as visitors, see what they have to teach, then let them go like leaves floating down a stream. Your true self is beyond all pain and fear. It is stillness, clarity, and endless kindness. Now, more than ever, the world needs your healing presence. People around you feel your calm, your wisdom, your compassion. You may not realize it, but your growth lights a path for others who are struggling. In this way, your journey becomes sacred. Each moment of awareness, each act of kindness, becomes a thread woven into the vast fabric of life. Do not worry if you sometimes stumble. The path is not perfect, but it is real. Each fall teaches you something new. Each return to presence makes you stronger. Healing is not a race or a competition. It is a quiet dance, sometimes slow, sometimes fast, but always beautiful. And so, the journey continues. You do not need to look far for peace. It is always here inside you. Every day, when you wake up, take a moment to breathe deeply and remember, you are enough. You are whole. You are healing. Let your heart be your guide, and your life will be your greatest teacher. Thank you for walking this path with us at Wisdom Woven. If this journey has touched your heart, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your presence here is a blessing, and your story matters deeply. And most importantly, please share your thoughts below. Your voice enriches this community. We grow stronger together. May your days be filled with peace. May your heart be open, and may you always know that healing is possible, and it is yours. The path is yours to walk, and the light you carry within will never fade. The quiet path within, living what you've learned. Sit down quietly. Let the world slow around you. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your body soften. Let your thoughts float by like clouds in the sky. In this stillness, there's something waiting, not outside of you, but inside. A soft voice, often ignored. A knowing that does not shout, but whispers. You have walked far already. Through pain, through healing, through growth. You've unlearned many things, and you've remembered many more. Now, what remains is simple, but not small, to live what you've learned. Many come to the path looking for something big, a miracle, a sign. But the truth is awakening often feels like a gentle breeze. So quiet, most people miss it. But not you. You felt it. You listened. And now, you do not need to chase more knowledge. What you need now is practice. You need to live it. You see, there's a difference between knowing and being. Knowing is like reading about the taste of tea. Being is when you hold the warm cup in your hands, breathe it in, sip slowly, and feel it soothe your chest. Many learn the teachings of the Buddha, but few take them into their daily steps. That is where your real practice begins. In the laundry, in the dishes, in the way you speak to your children, your partner, the stranger at the market. It is easy to be wise in silence. But can you bring that same gentleness into your busy life? Can you carry peace into conversations that used to stir anger? Can you walk through old places with new eyes? This is the hidden beauty of the path. It does not demand you change the world. It invites you to change the way you meet the world. A Zen master does not seek perfection. A Zen master seeks presence. Each breath you take is a gift. But how many have you taken today without noticing? Begin again. Feel this one. This is life, not the past, not the future. This breath, this moment, this feeling. All healing happens here. You may wonder, have I healed enough? Have I grown enough? But that is the wrong question. The right question is, can I love who I am today? That love, that acceptance, is the deepest form of healing. Not when you reach some distant goal, but when you soften into yourself and say, this is enough. I am enough. That does not mean you will stop growing. On the contrary, real growth begins when the fight ends. When you no longer push yourself like a broken machine, but instead nourish yourself like a growing garden. The Buddha once said, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Not later. Now, you're not a project. You're a person, a soul, a living being who has weathered storms and still stands. The more you respect that within yourself, the more you will naturally offer it to others. Compassion is not something you do. It becomes who you are. People will notice. They will feel something different in your presence. Not louder, quieter, not forceful, softer, but real. And that is your gift to the world. Not advice, not control, but calm. You become the one who listens, who breathes, who understands. The one who doesn't react quickly, but responds kindly. This is the silent power of healing. It doesn't announce itself. It simply lives in you. And through you it spreads. You don't need to be anyone else. Your path is sacred. Your scars are sacred. The journey you've walked has prepared you for exactly this moment. There may still be pain, but now you know how to meet it. There may still be loss, but now you carry wisdom. There may still be fear, but now you walk with courage. And most importantly, you are no longer waiting to be saved. You are living as your own healer. So what now? Now, you wake up each day and return to the breath. You take each step with intention. You offer yourself grace. You look for the beauty in small things, a bird on a branch, a warm cup, the sound of laughter. You choose silence over noise, presence over rushing, truth over comfort. And when life gets hard again, and it will, you don't fall apart the same way. You've been here before, and now you know the way back to peace. You have become the quiet mountain. You have become the steady stream. You have become the calm in someone else's storm. This is not the end of the journey. This is a new beginning, a deeper one, a softer one, a wiser one. Live it. Don't preach it. Don't force it. Just live it. And in doing so, you honor all that you've learned. You honor every part of your path. And you remind the world, without saying a word, the healing is real. Growth is possible, and peace is already here. Just listen. Just breathe. Just be.